Longmire is a prominent crime drama series in the United States. The show used to air on the A&E network. Longmire, created by John Coveney and Hunt Baldwin, is based on the Walt Longmire mystery series by best-selling American author Craig Allen Johnson. There are a total of 20 books in this collection, all of which were released between 2004 and 2018. Longmire revolves around the adventures of Sheriff Walt Longmire, just as the books. In today's video, we're going to take a look at all the details you need to know surrounding Longmire Season 7. But before we get into the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel with the notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the new videos we post. Longmire Season 7 release date. A&E produced the first 3 seasons of Longmire. Later, the channel declared that it will no longer be producing Longmire. The crime drama series drew a large audience. As a result, the reasons for the cancellation remain unknown to this day. Longmire was picked up by Netflix after a while. Seasons 4, 5, and 6 were produced by the streaming behemoth. Longmire improved its quality while attracting a large audience. Unfortunately, Netflix revealed that Longmire's 6th season would be its final. They also made no mention of the reason for the cancellation. Many people assumed that the show had covered the majority of the novels in the series. We are grateful to Netflix for the opportunity to craft a final chapter for these iconic characters that generates lasting memories. Executive producers Greer Shepard, Hunt Baldwin, and John Coveney told Deadline, "Most importantly, we are dedicated to providing our fans with a vibrant and exciting ending that rewards their long-term loyalty." The 6th season of Longmire aired on Netflix on November 17, 2017. Despite the fact that Longmire was cancelled after Season 6, we can anticipate it to resurface in the future. Right now, everything is dependent on Netflix. A reboot or spin-off series on the streaming platform might bring it back. It'll be interesting to watch how Katie handles things now that she's the new sheriff. However, Netflix has put out a recent trailer and information surrounding when the next season will drop, and it appears as though we can expect to see new episodes of Longmire as soon as November 12, 2021. Now, we have to preface, there may have been many conflicting accounts and articles online, some saying that there will be no Season 7, and others claiming that there will definitely be another season, so take this all with a grain of salt. Longmire Season 7 cast. Robert Taylor as Sheriff Walt Longmire, Katie Sackhoff as Vic Moretti, Lou Diamond Phillips as Henry Standing Bear, Cassidy Freeman as Caddy Longmire, Bailey Chase as Branch Connolly, Zahn McLernan as Officer Matthias, Adam Bartley as Deputy Archie Ferguson, and A. Martinez as Jacob Nighthorse would all return in a possible Longmire Season 7. Aside from them, a large number of other cast members have small roles to play throughout the episode. As a result, they will appear in Season 7 of Longmire. What is Longmire about? Walt Longmire, played by Robert Taylor, is the protagonist of the Netflix series Longmire. The sheriff has been widowed for a year. He delighted in his craft to mask his pain and a sense of loss for his long-loved wife. As the show progresses, the cop, with the help of his friend Henry, solves some of the law enforcement issues in the fictional town of Absaroka County, Wyoming. As the story progresses, the cop learns that his wife's murderer has also been killed. Walt is confronted with the murder case, and he denies killing his wife's killer. Following a series of investigations, his friend Henry is implicated in the case. The murder mystery of Walt's wife becomes more intense and complicated as the story progresses. At the same time, he's beset by a jumble of emotions in both his personal and professional lives. Walt Longmire is no longer the sheriff as the 6th season of Longmire draws to a close. After Malachi Strand's death, he decides to leave his employment. The county's future is now in good hands and is totally safe, while Walt recognizes that he can have a future elsewhere. The producers have covered most of the story in the book, and there isn't much else to see. This creates a contentious debate for the adoring audience. Recap of Season 6 ending. The series finale, Goodbye Is Always Implied, was a long episode that wrapped up nearly every loose issue in the series and permanently altered the lives of the characters. Continue reading if you can't stop yourself from spoiling yourself, for this is our last journey to Absaroka. Let's start with the bad people, because there would be no show without them. The Irish Mafia and Malachi Strand. Walt's 2 biggest problems provided a combined, unified threat this season that primarily operated on the periphery. Strand, Eddie Harp, and Shane Muldoon were not among the noteworthy figures we saw. Their hired assassins instead penetrated the FBI and Jacob Nighthorse's personal security team. The strategy was multi-layered. Seize control of Nighthorse's casino and use it as a front for transporting and distributing heroin. Malachi's clout among tribal cops would prevent them from looking into things on the res. While the Irish mob stooge inside the FBI would accept money, kickbacks, Muldoon, like everyone else, misjudged the soft-spoken Malachi and was shot in the head as a result. Nighthorse had utilized tribal monies to the tune of $1 million to pay his bail in order to avoid being killed in prison. According to Malachi, of course, Malachi took out the part about him being on the lookout for Nighthorse in prison. All of his employees went on strike and refused to work for him as long as he was in charge of the casino. Malachi would then persuade Nighthorse to sign over the casino and bring everyone back into the fold under duress. Despite the fact that Malachi's influence has been discovered, he was correct in his assessment of Nighthorse's corruption and embezzlement. While it's unclear whether Nighthorse stayed on the ranch, he did relinquish control of the casino to Standing Bear for the sake of the people. This not only helped Nighthorse to salvage face in the village, but it also demonstrated that he cared enough for the Cheyenne's future in Absaroka in the end. For his part, Standing Bear had always desired to do more for his people, and he was able to do so by running the casino. There will be no more heroin and no more shady dealings. Malachi is dead at the end, and Walt has his 12th or 13th scar. He seems a little confused by the number as well. Walt is clearly eager to make a change on his own terms, especially after his 100th embarrassing conversation with Vic. The rest of their talk was a recognition of fan criticism of their will-they-won't-they relationship throughout the years. Notably that neither of them would admit it to others, let alone themselves. The convoluted chats and automobiles were becoming old, and when Vic eventually came out and stated that she was wary of them, there wasn't a single fan of the show who didn't try to high-fake it. Finally, the series comes full circle with the appearance of a Longmire for sheriff's son on the county road. Caddy Longmire will now be the one to take up the role. Despite Caddy's ability to handle weapons, the decision feels out of place, yet it speaks to the series' larger message. Longmire and Standing Bear are the county's conscience, with Longmire representing the city and Standing Bear representing the countryside. The natives and the whites, as Walt points out, follow a friendly but parallel path. You need the balance of two strong leaders in order for things to stay peaceful. It's always a Longmire and a Standing Bear in this section of Wyoming. Interesting facts about the Longmire season. The characters are a cross between Indiana Jones and Clint Eastwood. To begin with, that's a fantastic combination, and it creates an intriguing persona that is unlikely to take a lot of flack. When viewing the episode, you can clearly sense this mood. It's like a modern-day Indiana Jones. The show is based on a series of novels. Because the novels were all about Walt Longmire, it's safe to assume that a lot of source material made its way into the program in some form. Many people have stated that the show had used all of the novel's information by the end of season 6, hence why the show was cancelled. However, it appears as though they found more material as the show is returning for a 7th season. When A&E canceled Longmire, Netflix quickly picked it up. Netflix has been working hard for years to improve their game and become the streaming behemoth that it is today, and they've done it by focusing on what they believe consumers want to see. Longmire carries his pistol the old-fashioned way. That means he carries his weapon with the magazine installed, a round chamber, and the hammer lowered. He does this, it's assumed, because he loves to think before he draws and shoots, and cocking the hammer gives him that extra split second. His preferred method of carrying his pistol is with the magazine inserted, the cartridge chambered, the hammer cocked, and the safety engaged, or condition 1. And there you have it, everything you need to know about Longmire Season 7 and the official news that it will be returning for another season. Longmire fans, get excited for November 2021. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss any of our new and upcoming content. Thanks for watching.